Between 1934 and 1938, a serial killer stalked the streets of Cleveland, Ohio, leaving behind a trail of decapitated, dismembered bodies. 13 victims. Only 3 were ever identified. The killer was never caught. This is the story of the Cleveland torso murderer, also known as the Mad Butcher of Kingsbury Run. In the 1930s, Kingsbury Run was a bleak, dangerous stretch of Cleveland, sometimes called a hobo jungle, where the homeless and impoverished lived in shanty towns. Nearby was an area called the Roaring Third, packed with bars, gambling dens, and brothels. It was the perfect hunting ground for someone who wanted victims that wouldn't be missed. The first body was discovered on September 5, 1934, on the shores of Lake Erie. An unidentified woman in her 30s, missing her head, her skin treated with a chemical preservative. A year later, on September 23, 1935, 2 more victims were found near Kingsbury Run. One was Edward Andraschi, a hospital orderly known around the Roaring Third. Both bodies were decapitated, drained of blood, and emasculated. The killings continued. In January 1936, a woman named Florence Polillo, a sex worker and waitress, was found wrapped in newspaper inside half-bushel baskets near a manufacturing building. By June, a victim's head was found wrapped in trousers, with the rest of the body discovered the very next day in front of the railroad police building itself. The killer was getting bolder, dumping bodies in increasingly public, increasingly audacious locations. One body, found in July 1936, stood out. Unlike the others, which showed clean, medically precise dismemberment, this victim had clearly been killed on site, with blood found at the scene. It suggested either a different killer or that the original killer was becoming less careful, less controlled. By September 1936, a coroner noted that one victim's decapitation had been performed in a single, confident stroke, suggesting the killer had real anatomical knowledge, the skill of someone medically trained. As bodies kept appearing, public pressure mounted on Cleveland's safety director, Eliot Ness, the legendary lawman famous for taking down Al Capone's bootlegging operation. Ness oversaw both the police and fire departments, and failure to catch this killer threatened to tarnish his reputation entirely. Then, on August 16, 1938, the 12th and 13th victims were discovered in a location that felt almost personal, within view of Eliot Ness's own office window. It was a taunt, and Ness responded 2 days later by raiding Kingsbury Run's homeless encampment in the middle of the night, rounding up 63 men and ultimately burning the entire shantytown to the ground. The displaced residents were arrested for vagrancy. The killing stopped after the raid, but Ness's reputation was permanently damaged, and the killer was never found. So who could have committed these horrific crimes? There are 2 major suspects. The first was a 52-year-old bricklayer named Frank Dolezal. In 1939, he was arrested for the murder of Florence Polillo, the 4th victim. He had lived with her, and he knew 2 other victims as well. After his arrest, Dolezal confessed, but later claimed the confession was coerced through physical abuse. He had suffered 6 broken ribs while in police custody. His confession was inconsistent, mixing rehearsed details with confused rambling. 1 month later, Dolezal died by apparent suicide in his jail cell, hanging from a hook that was shorter than he was tall, a detail that has fueled suspicion that he didn't take his own life at all. Forensic experts who later reviewed his autopsy concluded he likely did not die the way authorities claimed. Today, virtually no one believes Frank Dolezal was the actual killer. The second, and far more compelling suspect, was Dr. Francis Sweeney. In the 1970s, it was revealed that Sweeney had been Eliot Ness's secret prime suspect all along. Sweeney was a doctor, meaning he had the exact anatomical skill the killer demonstrated. He struggled with severe alcoholism, had a documented history of violence toward his wife and children, and would disappear for days at a time. Shortly after the final murder, Sweeney voluntarily checked himself into a mental institution. The killing stopped immediately afterward. In May 1938, Ness secretly detained Sweeney for nearly 2 weeks, administering one of the very first lie detector tests ever used in a criminal investigation. Sweeney failed it. Twice. The polygraph's own inventor told Ness, quote, "That's your man." But there was a problem. Sweeney was the cousin of a sitting United States congressman, and Ness had detained him without any legal authority. Despite failing the polygraph twice, Sweeney was released. Less than 3 months later, the final 2 torso victims appeared directly outside Ness's office window. Years later, researcher James Badal discovered that Sweeney had practiced medicine out of a building located directly next door to a funeral home, one with a concrete ramp leading straight to the embalming area. Badal theorizes Sweeney may have lured victims to his office with promises of alcohol, killed them there, and used his proximity to the funeral home to dispose of evidence. After his death, Eliot Ness reportedly continued receiving taunting, nonsensical postcards signed by Sweeney, almost as if he were mocking the lawman for never being able to prove it. Despite all of this circumstantial evidence, prosecutors never had enough proof to charge Sweeney. He was never arrested, he was never tried. He lived out the rest of his life in psychiatric care until his death. To this day, the Cleveland torso murders remain officially unsolved. Was Frank Dolezal silenced before he could stand trial? Or did Dr. Francis Sweeney walk free, protected by political connections, while 13 people lay dead? What do you think happened? Drop your theory in the comments. And if you want more cases like this, subscribe to Mystery Minute. We'll be here every week, digging up the truth.